Davis,
Let's do it.
you're back.
I am back.
My goodness, it's been a few months. Has there been enough time for life to happen and for improvements to show up in your life and challenges?
Has it been only 2 months? It feels like it's been
I said
half
a
a year.
few months. I said a few
Few months.
months.
Few months. Yes, I think a lot has changed since then. Actually, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, let's just see right now. First of all, we
Yeah.
have some big news that I don't want to tiptoe around. You are doing a Hyrox competition tomorrow in Anaheim, and I'm so stoked
Yeah.
for you because you're
Thank you.
one of the main reasons why I even got into Hyrox, number one. Yeah, I did a
That is insane.
simulation a few weeks ago, and there was a lot of learning that happened in that, and I'm grateful that I did it. And again, I learned a lot, but enough about me. You're going into this competition. You're doing it with a partner. You're doing the
hmm
pro version, so you're
Yes.
doing the heavier weights. Have you ever done a Hyrox competition before?
This is going to be my first one. Just jumping off the deep end here. Shout out to my teammate, Mark Tom. Want to give him some credit here for persuading me into doing this. But yes, this is going to be my first one. Again, it's like every time you do something for the first time, your expectations change every single day. Your nervous system changes every single day. It feels like I feel great one day. I'm nervous the next day. I'm tired the next day. Then I'm back to feeling great. But yeah, I think today, tomorrow, we don't compete until 6:50, so it's nighttime. But just trying to stay off my feet as much as I can today and tomorrow, relax, watch a few movies, and just kind of go through my daily routine. But I am looking forward to it. It's a great way to end the year. It's a great way to kind of just feel that accomplishment going into the holidays so that I can eat as much as I want. I can just be a normal person again, and I'm kind of just tired of the training right now. So I'm sure you'll get a call either right after or the day after and letting you know how I did.
Yes, please. I'm excited for you. I know you're going to do really, really well.
Thank you.
I want to be there. I'll be shooting, but I will be supporting you in spirit, you and your teammate, Mark.
Mark, yes.
All right, you and Mark are going to crush it. I also have several friends who are going to be competing as well, and one of them is in your category. His name is Daryl Ryan, so be on the lookout
Okay.
for a 6'5" Caucasian man. Have you even been training for this competition, and have you changed your diet at all?
Yes and no. I think the closer we've gotten, it has been a little more dialed in with the specific movements, the ski erg, the rower. I think there's a lot of technicality, penalties. Doing it with a partner, you are working as a team. So there are sandbag carries. You can't put it on the ground. You have to make sure that you're handing it off strategically. And then also just taking a look at how do you guys want to break the workout up, who's stronger at what stations, and also just how committed you are. Because I think some people just go in and just want to do it. And I think that's amazing. And then some people are really like, we have to break it up here, here, and here. And that's amazing as well. So I think we're kind of in that happy medium place where we want to have a great time, but we want to push ourselves and try and compete because we're both competitors at the end of the day. So it's going to be exciting to see how the training has been going. But to answer that question, the diet hasn't changed as much. I think it's been just really trying to stay as clean as possible, cutting the alcohol.
You
And
haven't drank
then
alcohol in the last several weeks?
in the last several weeks, no. And I've definitely been tempted to, but I'm looking forward to again celebrating. I know that once it's done, then I can enjoy myself a little more. Once I'm committed to something, it kind of just takes over and want to do a great job at the end of the day. And I think that's just something that comes with it, the diet, because I know it's an endurance race and the fuel is so key to being successful in it. I haven't switched it up too much. I feel like I eat pretty clean throughout the year. And I think that's what's the nice part about it. I think just getting a little more dialed in about not splurging when you want to. Training has just been good, just trying to pick up the running and then tapering it the last couple of weeks as far as like keeping my legs as fresh as I can.
Yeah. Do you normally eat a lot of carbs?
No.
So you've been basically on a lower carb diet this whole time?
So I've been ramping my carbs up recently and I'm feeling it.
What do you mean you're
But
feeling it? How are you feeling?
I think because this is my first endurance race and in the study of what other people have done, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, I haven't been on a huge carb diet prior and trying to stay a little leaner. The added carbs have weighed me down a little bit.
Really?
And I think at first it was because I was trying to add with eating the same amount. So it was instead of taking out something, it was adding on top. So your calories go up excessively.
I see.
And so that part was, it was a little learning curve for me because I'm like, oh my God, why does my training not feel as good? Why do I feel
You
a
felt a
little
little
more
bogged down because you had these excess calories that were coming from
mhm.
carbohydrate, but you didn't take out any fat or protein.
Right. And so this last week and a half, that's where I feel a little bit back to normal, but also realizing eating some pasta tonight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that worked for me.
Right.
That worked for me. I don't know if that works for everybody, but that's kind of like an old school mentality. Like back in the day when I was in middle school,
Hmm.
and I was doing endurance races in cross country, my
Right.
coach said, load up on a nice big carbohydrate rich meal the night before.
Mhm.
And so he gave the example of pasta. And so I did just that. And for whatever reason, it works for me. So hopefully it works for you. The fact that you're testing it out the night before the race is
Yep.
interesting.
I think the pasta thing I'm testing out, but doing carbs before a workout the night before. I did my last like hybrid workout a week ago, and I tried to do pre the night before, and I felt good trying to test out how my body feels, what I'm going to drink before, like banana, kind of just going through the pre workout routine. But I always go back to, do you watch The Office?
Of course, I
Have you seen?
watched The Office.
Do you remember the episode of the fundraiser for running?
Yes, yes,
And Michael Scott the night before eats a whole bowl of fettuccine.
yes.
And he's like, carb low, carb low, carb low. And so it's a running joke is when we talk about pasta, it's not the fettuccine Alfredo with three loaves of bread and just
No,
trying to get all those carbs in.
no, because that's also a lot of fat.
Right, right. So I always, I've been talking about it with my teammate like the last 3 days, just kind of sending each other those memes because it relates to a lot of people who work out in high endurance. When people talk about a pasta dinner before, they wish they could have that, but that's not really what they're talking about. So yeah, it's just gonna be something super light, just like a normal portion meal. And then the nice thing is tomorrow I don't compete until the end of the day, so I have all day in case, I'm not feeling the best in the morning. I can still, kind of play it by ear and see how I'm doing.
Yeah, you can make adjustments. You'll have some wiggle room to hydrate, maybe get some extra electrolytes in, move your
Right.
body, stretch, do whatever it is
Yeah.
that you have to do. Maybe some pre workout.
We'll see. It's all game day decision, I think, for me, right?
I
So
love it. Your energy right now is like super chill. I feel like you have zero anxiety about it, at least today. But I think once you get there and you have
Mhm.
all that energy around you, you'll feel the excitement again. And I think that's going to push you and you're going to perform well. So I'm going to be cheering for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's cool because you're setting a good example for your students as an F45 coach. You're
Hmm.
out there competing, you're being active, you're doing things. And I think that's a shining example for your students and for your friends and family. It's good to have goals, especially fitness goals. It gives you something to work towards.
I want to express how grateful I am for the communities, specifically Arts District, that pushed me to get into it and kind of open the door for what Hyrox is. And then Burbank more specifically because I'm there now. But the community just verbally just good luck on Friday, expressing how they want to eventually get into it. And then the coaches as well, Shannon, Ashley, David, all those guys at Burbank have been a huge support for me and just pushing me. It's been a lot of fun being around it. Am I looking forward to being done? Of course.
Yes.
But
Yes.
right now, I do want to express just how grateful I am for all the coaches, all the communities that have led me up to this point. It's crazy how fast it's gone.
Life just flies by. For those of you who are listening in and you don't know what sim means, it just means a simulation. So it mimics what an actual Hyrox competition would look like, but it's
Hmm.
not an actual Hyrox competition. It's a simulation, and hopefully it's preparing you for the actual competition. I just did a sim because at this point, I don't want to do a full on competition, but I may change my mind. I'll tell you,
I think you will change your mind.
in doing the simulation, I realized, wait a minute, if I actually trained for this bitch, I might actually do well.
I think you would do well even if you didn't train for it. But
No,
if
that's
you
not
trained
true.
for
It's
it,
a different type of workout. 90, like up to 90 minutes. of
Well, how did you feel? How did you feel when you did it?
I checked my Apple Watch some of the time, and I
Yeah.
noticed I was in the red zone. I was near my max heart rate the whole fucking time for 90 minutes. And that was me mentally wanting to go faster, but I couldn't because my heart was going as hard as it could without
Yeah.
going into cardiac arrest. Um,
Right.
but
And we're not trying to scare anyone
we're
here.
not
It's a
trying to
great
scare anyone, but listen, I did the bare
right.
minimum. I trained hard once a
Yeah.
week. I do 5-mile walks from time to time. I do a plank. I do things here and there, but I do one dedicated hard workout once a week. And that is like bare minimum. If I actually did this properly and was training regularly 3 to 4 times a week, who knows?
Well, I'm curious. So now that you've done it, like, what would you have changed to the workout? Do you feel like you came out too hot? Do you feel like you could have paced yourself a little better on certain stations? Where did you kind of hit a wall? Did you hit a wall? And what would you change?
Yeah, they're great questions, and I have had time to reflect on them. I went out I went out hot because I was excited, and it
Of
always
course.
feels good for the first
Right.
15 to 20 minutes. And then shit hits the fan and you're like, "Oh, wait a minute. I have to maintain this pace or get faster?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay." So my bare minimum was do your very best to maintain this pace. But
Hmm.
my heart rate was already skyrocketing. And I realized very quickly I needed to do more training. I needed to do more in-depth training leading up to this if I wanted to perform better. I need to be
Okay.
training more than once a week. I need to be training 2 to 3 times a week in order to move faster because I was running a little bit because I coach running, so I was getting in a 5K once a week. That was my best exercise. Everything else felt slow as balls. Like when I do all my workouts on Sundays, I'm usually moving. I typically have a partner too. So that's the other thing is I went into this thinking I was going to have a partner, and then last minute that did not happen. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this on my own. The universe wants me to do everything and not split up the work. So
Yeah.
that's another big piece of why
Hmm.
I, in my opinion, underperformed because
Mm.
in looking at the video footage, I was
Yeah.
moving like a snail compared to
I don't
how
think so.
compared yeah, but listen, you watched the edited version. If you saw the actual clips, you're like, "Damn, Cat, damn." But also, I think I might have eaten too much that
Mm.
morning. I always get so scared that I'm not gonna have enough fuel to sustain me for those 90 minutes. But the
Right.
thing was, I kind of felt a little bogged down. I felt bloated, I
Hmm.
felt heavy, and
Hmm.
sometimes you just need to trust that you've got it and be lighter so you can be faster. Don't bog yourself down with these extra calories that you think you need unless
Right.
you know that and you have
Yeah.
practiced eating more calories.
Now, do you think if you had done it with a partner, the conversation would
Different
be
ball
very
game.
different?
Different
Yeah.
ball game because the way I was training with my previous partner was
Hmm.
I would go hard, I would go to my max heart rate, but then I got this very short rest. And even
Mm.
though that rest was only a handful of seconds at times or maybe just a little bit longer, God, did
Hmm.
that was what I needed. If I could
Right.
just have that, then I could go hard again. But because I had to go hard continuously without that
Right.
rest,
Yeah.
that's a game changer.
Yeah. So you say average 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
For the workout.
Yeah.
With the partner, if you split it in half, 45 minutes, you're looking at a regular class. So I think it's great that you did it solo because now you have that knowledge of both. I mean, do solo pro, do it.
Okay, calm
But
down. I'm thinking like solo open if I
there you
do
go.
anything because I need to go gradually. The pro weights are a lot heavier and I would have to get serious about the training. Here's another thing where I'm at in my life with my fitness, I'm really,
Mhm.
really happy. I don't have
Yeah.
that many injuries. I have like one tiny rotator cuff injury that I think I did something super silly. I did burpees
Mhm.
way too fast and then I messed it up. But it's healing. I like being injury free for the most part.
Mhm.
I like not being sore and walking around like an old person. Like, I
Same.
and you know, I want to do other things. I don't want my whole life to be consumed with personal records and how much can
Right.
I
Right.
lift and how much can I exhaust myself. I've done
Right.
all that.
Yeah. I think that's great. And I'm the same which I think we relate to each other because I like to live my life. And fitness is because of our career. You already naturally throughout the year are training to maintain a physique
Yes.
or look good for a camera. It's a different kind of training. Training for an event versus training to look good is so different. And
So
that's why
different.
for me, the diet was a lot different too, because I don't eat a whole lot when I'm prepping to get ready to look a certain way. I'm cut down just to get a little more cut. But with fitness events like this, you actually should be eating more because you're burning so many calories and you're trying to recover. And it's more about performance than it is about aesthetics.
Totally. Totally.
And so that's why I just want to look good again.
I hear you. I love that you mentioned this, and people need to hear this. You can be
Mhm.
super strong, you can be super fast, but you may not look the way that you want to look because
Right.
aesthetics are very different from performance.
Of course.
And there's lots of different types of performance. There's performance in endurance. You can lift really heavy, you can
Hmm.
be super limber and be like a yogi pretzel. And those are going to create different types of aesthetics.
Yeah, for me, it's the perfect time to do a race like this because the rest of the year we can just get back to eating what I want to.
Ye
I just done an audition for a fashion audition. When I was sending in the tape, I'm very happy about how I look right now, but it's also like it's a feel thing for me, right? When I feel confident, I feel good in front of the camera. Especially for those higher fashion, I like to get really confident with who I am. And right now, it's a weird time because I'm trying to get ready for this fitness event while also still mentally sending in audition tapes. One was for a Miami spring break commercial, so it was shirtless. And I was like, well, we're at this phase. I still feel like I look good, but do I feel that way? I feel heavier.
Yeah, because you are heavier and because you're a professional, 1, 2, 3 pounds makes a lot of difference. You see that,
Right.
you know yourself incredibly well, the details matter
Long story short, I am looking forward to
being done.
hopefully 8 o'clock tomorrow. You'll get a text.
Okay.
Yeah, an hour, 10 minutes after the race.
Ooh,
We
hour
did it.
10, that's so ambitious, I love it. Let's see.
I mean, my hope is because it is a split race and we get that little break in between every station, really trying to just use that time to recover. That way we can push a little harder.
Yep,
And I'm very grateful because I got a teammate. We work really well together. That's
perfect.
another thing. Make sure you know who you're working out with because it will make a difference in the long run. The chemistry, the communication throughout the workout. You want to make sure that if you're not feeling good, don't be afraid to tell them, can you hop in,
Yeah,
take over, and then keep going, right? Because yes, you plan as much as you can and strategize, but I think race day, you never know what can happen, right? So you may come out super hot and you're in the red zone, you're redlining super early. You're like, I need to slow it down. Can you hop in here real quick? Make sure that you have that communication with your partner because it will make a difference when you're on the walls or lunges after 5 miles of running.
you're saying 2 things here. Number 1, you have to have excellent communication. You have to have
Hmm.
effective communication with your partner. I think that's
Right,
with any partner you have in life, whether it's your workout partner, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, a romantic partner, your boss, it
right.
doesn't matter. Effective communication is key. And
Hmm.
also, you don't get to predict how tomorrow's going to go. You can
Absolutely.
prepare all you want. You can have a nice light spaghetti dinner tonight or whatever. You can get
Right.
all the sleep, you can drink the electrolytes, you can be
Yep.
mentally there. And then something happens, you're like, what? I literally can't move the same way. And
Yeah.
so being able to rely on your partner when you need them is going to be key.
Yes. 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 Yeah. That's where I'm at with that, I think.
I love that. And I'm looking forward to you being done too, because I have to say that I'm so excited to not have a fitness goal at the moment.
Right. It's nice though.
It's so nice, it's relaxing. I can go back to what I know, which is
Right.
eating really healthy during the week and then enjoying myself more on the weekends.
Right.
Um, and then inevitably, I will think of another goal that I want to work towards, and then I'll start training
Yeah.
for that. But having those dedicated rest periods where you kind of just get to chill, especially like during the holidays, that could not be a more perfect time,
I agree.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yes.
So let's continue talking about how this year has gone for you, how you've grown, because
Right.
2026 is almost here. If you believe in the Chinese zodiac, this was the year of the snake. And apparently, the snake is all about the shedding of things that you no longer need, things that are not serving you. And
Right.
so, in a sense, it could be a bit of a startling year
Yeah.
in that it's uncomfortable. It's
Mm,
uncomfortable. You're getting rid of stuff. Maybe you're getting
yeah.
rid of people, jobs, who knows? It could be any of those things. And then
Mm,
2026 is supposed to be represented by the horse, which is
mm,
supposed to usher in new beginnings and forward movement. And
mhm.
so I wonder, how has 2025 been for you?
This year specifically was more of a learning curve for me. And I think Los Angeles does this amazing job at when you first get here, it's going to show you what you can have. And it's going to show you whatever you're trying to achieve. Because I do think the city is the city of dreams. It's the city of winning. Like it can offer you so much. But at a certain point, it's going to be like, okay, now it's time. We're going to hit you to reality. You got to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. LA did that to me this year a little bit where we started out with the fires in January. The city specifically was kind of hit with a little bit of a curveball.
Yeah.
This year showed me more of a creative side to me as opposed to trying to make things work at a normal job and make things financially blend together, if that makes sense. I was really shown that if I really want to do this, how can I be putting myself out there a little more? How can I be creative more regularly? And I think it really allowed me to meet a lot of amazing people. I think it allowed me to, like you said, shed some of those relationships that maybe weren't necessarily aligning with where I was at or where I'm at right now. And I think that's the biggest thing for me was like really just getting serious about setting myself up for 2026.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was so many wins this year. I think there was just as many losses, but they were good. All those losses for me are what I call losses, or more of just those lessons that, okay, why did this happen? What is it trying to teach me so I don't make that same mistake? Or just being able to kind of reflect. And I think the last couple months specifically, I always try and use November, December to reflect, especially because the entertainment industry kind of slows down, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not for you, which is amazing.
I mean, it's hit or miss. For me, it's unpredictable.
Yeah. And I think that's good. Right now, personally, it's just been a time for reflecting, trying to re-amp my book, do test shoots, kind of see where I want my career to go in 2026.
Yeah.
And I think a great opportunity or a great reflection of that was I got a call from my agent yesterday with a great opportunity to potentially work tomorrow. We
Right.
had talked about this.
But you have a
Um,
competition.
I do. And my right mind thinking, can they change the times of the shoot? Thinking like, oh, I'm big time, right?
Or can I just do it all? Can I have it all?
Yeah. And I think that was the original. I would love to do it still, but can they change the times of the shoot? But also being able to just understand that my priority is Hyrox is allowing me to realize that there's going to be bigger projects. There's going to be better projects, more money coming in. And then ironically, like right after that, I got another text from her and she sent me a bigger project, right? Bigger audition. Trusting your gut has been a big thing this year for me and really being intuitive about following what it is that I feel is right. I think that's been a big thing and trying to really hone in on that in 2026. Should I go move to New York or should I go move to Austin, Texas and explore for a few months? And I still think that's on the table. But again, I'm not trying to think too hard about it. I'm just trying to allow myself to be like, if this is right, let's do it.
Yeah. I love that you're trusting your gut. That says a lot about where you're at in your own personal development and your own journey. If you
Mhm.
trust your gut, I think that you're doing quite well because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't.
Right.
And your
Yeah.
gut knows. I feel like we have 99% of the answers that we need in
Mhm.
order to make informed, solid decisions. But if your gut is kind of messed up and in some way emotionally, mentally, if there's conflicting information in there,
Mhm.
then it's harder to uncover and it's harder to recognize the answer that's always there. I don't think a
Right.
lot of these answers are outside of ourselves. I think that the answers are internal. So that says a lot about you and where you're at.
It is a lot easier said than done. We're gifted with so much resource and we're gifted with so much quote unquote answers, right? We can go on Google. Should I move to this city now with ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT has become a friend of mine, I feel like.
Everybody's
Uh,
friend.
it is trying to take that information and then how you feel, kind of blending the two together. And when you make that decision, whether it is the right decision or not, just keep going. right? Not looking back, not dwelling on if it was the right decision at the time, because it might not always be the best fit, but you can learn from it.
Everything is. Everything's a learning moment. For example,
Right.
if you moved and you decided, like, oh, wow, this is not for me, this is not what I wanted, you just learned that. You just learned more about what it is that you want and more about what you don't want. And you can always come back.
Right. Right. That's the exciting part too, is that LA is always going to be home for me. This is home base. I love this city and it's given me so much. But I think as a creative, I can learn so much from being in a different city. I can meet and network with a lot of different people. I'm trying to do things that make me a better actor. And that has nothing to do with acting. It's the experiences that I get from doing a Hyrox, the experiences I get from flying planes, the experiences I get from taking guitar lessons, singing lessons. All of those cultivate into a better, well-rounded person, which
Yes.
shows up on camera. In the early stages of this year, I was so focused on just, I need to be the best actor I can. I want to put all my energy into that. And right now, it's a lot of the experiences outside of that, which will make that for me.
I love that. And that is genius. And I have not heard an actor talk that way.
Mm,
It seems so intuitive to say that because I also think that these life experiences shape
mm.
and mold not only the human that you become, but the type of actor you become.
Right, right, right. And that first showed up for me in theater because another thing I was able to reflect on was I started this year on stage and I finished it in December on stage.
Nice.
It kind of hit home for me because at the end of the day, that is the actor's medium where if I fuck up on stage, that's on me. Or how do I fix that? That's on me, right? And so all those opportunities, the resilience of doing a Hyrox or just those other outer experiences that you deal with will help me on that stage, right? How can you pick up and leave off or improv? I got a buddy that does a lot of comedy right now, and I'm learning so much from him. That's another thing I think with those experiences, it's conversation for me right now
Mm.
is the most powerful thing that I genuinely love. Those conversations for me, I learned so much from so many different people. And right now I'm just trying to learn and I've kind of gotten in this mode of I don't know anything. And that's how I'm trying to go into these conversations. Teach me, teach me. What can I learn from you? That's the fun thing. I'm getting excited talking about it because our conversations in general and the city has so many people from all over the world. It's taught me so much. If you have the opportunity to go to New York or you have the opportunity to go to LA, spend some time there. You'll really learn. You'll really grow as a person. Even if you're not a creative artist, you can achieve a lot of different goals here. And that's been so amazing for me. The experiences, reflection, and the conversation. In a nutshell, that's 2025 for me. And I'm looking forward to elevating that in 2026.
I hear you and I concur because that's the reason why I continue to do this podcast. I
Yeah.
originally started this podcast so that people could get to know me better and I could have these fun, deep, meaningful conversations, but then it became, oh my God, I'm making lifelong friends by doing this. I'm making connections. I'm learning so much. I'm learning
Right.
so much. So I 100% understand you when you talk about connecting with others. As far as moving, whether it's New York or LA, you could move anywhere. You can move to Alabama. I did it
Right.
for 4 months, and I learned a lot in 4 months that I never want to go back. I'm serious. And
Right.
I've
Right.
lived all over the world, and I don't take any experience back because, like you said, there's learning in every single experience that you have, and
Mhm.
especially in those uncomfortable experiences.
Right. 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 Well, I'm curious too, now that, we're talking about the reflection, now that you've done the podcast, how many episodes are you on?
You are episode number 38.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot. With those 38, what do you think you've learned from it? You talked about that the original intent was to get your name out there a little bit and let people see who is Cat Bradshaw? What have you learned? And then same thing, like what this year, what was it like for you? I'm curious like to hear your reflection on it a little bit.
Sure. So that's a great question about the podcast. I've learned so much more than I anticipated. Number one, I'm much better at having a conversation that's
Hmm.
recorded. The other thing is I'm often delighted by the knowledge and stories that my guests share with me. I didn't realize how important it is for me to have these conversations. I also realized how important it is for people to be seen. One lovely thing that I get to do when I have these conversations is I get to see somebody. I get the opportunity to acknowledge them
Mm,
and appreciate them. In this day and age with ChatGPT, which is such a wonderful tool and such a useful tool, and social media, which is also a wonderful tool, it doesn't see you in the same way because it's not a human. It's not a flesh and blood human. As intelligent as it is, it's very different when a human being sees another human being. We don't have enough of that in this day and age. I also learned that I have so much to learn from people who are very, very different from me. And it has humbled me. And I have felt more and more comfortable saying, I don't know. I don't
right.
know. I don't know the answer. And that's
Yeah.
okay. This year has been a year of shedding. It has definitely been the year of the snake.
Mm,
I got out of a long-term relationship
mhm,
and I felt so good about it when it happened because I trusted myself.
mhm,
I came to this place where it's like, I know what I deserve. I've put in the work. I continue to put in the work. And again, I know what I deserve. And so I will attract that. You mentioning the fires, it's like I forgot all about it, but the fires really triggered me. Even though I
mm,
wasn't in that zone, I still had to be ready for evacuation at a moment.
yeah.
And that stressed the hell out of me for many different reasons. But it has been a trying year, especially with the political climate and everything going on in the world. It could be a very stressful year for folks. And then monetarily, with AI, as much as I appreciate it, it has also affected my ability to generate as much income as I have in the past.
Mhm,
And that has opened my eyes
right.
and made me much more aware that I need to stay current and I need to be able to pivot and continue to trust that all of my needs will continue being taken care of no matter what. But I have to do my part. Just like you, like the jobs aren't going to fall in our lap. We have to
Right.
earn them. We have to do our part. So, yeah, it's been a year of shedding and ushering in what it is that I really want. And so, with that said, next year, I am so excited. I can't even imagine what's going to happen next year because I'm thinking it's gonna be so great and so
Talk about it.
awesome that I
Yes.
I I can't even verbalize what it's gonna look like because
Right.
it's the stuff of my wildest dreams.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love that. I'm getting excited hearing you talk about that. It's getting me pumped up for 2026.
It's gonna be a good year.
It is, and I feel the same way. It was so many different emotions this year, right? It felt like every aspect of my life was challenged. For every good that came, it was like, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Again, going back to that gut feeling, 2026 just, it's going to be exciting. It just feels a little closer to everything that we've been talking about. And I am very excited for you.
Thank you. I'm excited for us. I think we're go-getters. We're not lazy. We're doing our part. I think that we have a lot of love for life. So with that said, what is it that you're currently working on right now? What's something that you want to transform in your life?
That's a good question too. I don't think I've really looked at that part. Transform. I actually don't know right now. I'm constantly trying to transform myself. I'm really looking forward to trying to take all of the things that I have transformed and becoming the person that I'm supposed to become and trusting that, just being more authentic to myself, doing things because they align with what I need to do or what I want to do. I think you said it best, loving life for what it is and uh that's a great question.
It's
I really
something
don't
you
have
might need to think about, right?
yeah, absolutely. I don't think I have an answer off the top of my head just because it is such a big question. But I think I want to continue to grow and use next year to take all the lessons that I learned from this year and really capitalize on it all next year.
I think that's a brilliant response because sometimes we have these aha moments where we're like, oh, wow, that needs to change.
Mm,
And I need to have more of this. I need to create balance in my life. I need to spend more time with this person and spend less time with this group, whatever it may look like. But then actually putting that into action
Mm,
is a whole different ball game because we
yeah.
can know what it is that we're supposed to do in order to live a life that's more in alignment to our true values.
Yeah.
And so there's talk, right? But then there's action. And it sounds like to me, you want to take everything that you've learned from 2025 and you want to put it into action.
I think so. Yeah. And the thing is I don't even know what that looks like yet.
No, because how
But
could you? How could you? You
no,
haven't done it yet.
right. I've also never been someone that's big on New Year's resolution, purely because I'm always trying to change myself. My New Year's resolutions are every month. What can I change? What can I work on? I think New Year's resolutions are great, but does that work for me? Not necessarily, because I'm always relooking at what it is that I feel like I can change. December, November has always been that reflection time. And then we're trying to rev that engine up. So that way, when January hits, I'm full on whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And I'm going to do my best. So with that action part, I think that is going to be that mantra for the year. I think I do a really good job at like taking leaps of faith, but I realize that I could take bigger leaps of faith, even though we talked about it the other day about that can be really good or it can be really bad where you keep falling. But I've met so many people this year that have just like shown me that why are you holding yourself back? It's something you're thinking about. Why aren't you just going to go do it? Right.
Yeah.
The moving thing has been the biggest thing for me of like, does it need to make sense logistically? Does it need to make sense financially? All those things instead of just being like, I'm going to do it. I'll figure it out. Right. And there's the happy medium.
Yes.
But right now, I think I'm kind of falling back on the stability instead of just following my gut and being like, I can do this. Let me just do it. And then if that city wasn't for me, let's move back, reflect, try something else. The confidence, the ability to communicate, and just knowing where I'm headed. I'm excited.
As you should be. Um, as far as the moving thing is concerned, if you don't have the answer right now, it might be because the answer isn't ready to present itself. I
Mm,
That's how I look at it. If I have a
yeah,
big decision that I'm in the process of making or I'm at least dwelling on it and I
right.
don't know, like I trust my gut. I sincerely trust my gut, but if I don't have the answer coming to me and there are
Mm,
still a lot of unknowns, then I'm not supposed to have the answer yet and I'm not supposed to make that move. When you are presented with the answer, you
yeah.
will know.
Mm,
It will be so clear. It will be
I
so
love that.
clear. So you might be trying to get that answer prematurely. Maybe there are certain things that need to take place first.
I think there are. I think that's why it hasn't presented itself to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's still so much to be done here in the city. When I first had the intuition of moving, a door opens up here. I've learned it doesn't shock me anymore. The right things will present itself when it's supposed to present itself. I totally agree with that. And I think that's a great reason for me to not make any hasty decisions yet.
Yeah.
Let's jump in off the 4 feet deck first versus the 10-foot deck. And then we'll tread some water slowly. And then we'll get out and then we'll go to the 10-foot deck.
I love this because now you're talking like taking the gradual route as
Right.
opposed to the okay, we've made some thousands of dollars. Let's go for 1 billion.
Well,
Which
that's
I
still.
love and is exciting, and I actually need more of that. I
Yeah.
need to think bigger
Mhm. Yeah.
because I used to think that way and it's fun. It's
Oh
fun.
my
As
God, it's
long
so
as I
much fun.
continue to do my work and cover my bills and take care of myself, it's totally, totally fun to dream big.
Right. Yeah. So I think we're both learning from each other right now. And I think we're both finding that we're on both sides of that spectrum where we can learn from each other. And I think that's why we relate so much, right? We have such good conversations because we learn so much from each other and we kind of put them into action. Will I still have that check in my wallet for billing? Absolutely.
You're also very open. One thing that I've noticed is the people that I invite on this podcast are
Mm.
typically very open, some more so than others, and that's just unique to them. But I would say that you are very open and you're a sponge in a sense. You want to learn, you thrive on learning, right?
Absolutely. Early on, I had an acting coach who was like, "What roles do you want to play?" And I was like, "I don't know if I can tell you. It's like personal." But now I'm like, "You want to know what roles I want to play? I'll tell you." It's that confidence that you're able to speak it into existence.
Yes.
And if you're not able to speak it into existence yet, you're maybe not fully ready for that because something's still holding you back. People are going to perceive you however they want. Play your narrative. How do you want to feel? Try and make things work for you. It doesn't have to suck. You know what I mean? We look so many times like the fallback or what's the negative. But there's so much good in this world and what you're going through. Going back to Friday, it's a great problem to have, right? Getting to compete, getting the opportunity to work. I'm just so grateful that's where my life is at right now. Hey, I can't be complaining. If your openness about what you want to do and what you want to achieve affects the way people perceive you, then maybe they're not for you right now, or maybe they're not for what you're aligned to do. And we can get into this too, but a couple of roles, because I want to put this out there. Number one, I want to be a Jedi. I think like
Yes.
Star Wars, Lucasfilms,
Who
call me up.
doesn't want to be a Jedi? Tell me who doesn't want to be a Jedi.
No, that's so fair. A couple franchises that I wish I was a little older, but Harry Potter,
Yeah.
I would have loved to duel Harry. And I'm fine dying. Like he just zaps me with one of his spells, but Jedi, Harry Potter, I think Hallmark Christmas is in that list.
I told you that one's achievable. You can totally get that.
Hallmark Christmas. Have we talked about this?
Yeah, we did, because you mentioned that on the first podcast. I
Yeah,
have friends who are in Hallmark Christmas movies. This
right.
is very doable. You can do that.
Yeah, and so Hallmark Christmas movie, just because my mom growing up, that was all my grandmother, that's all that was on
Yeah.
during the Christmas times. But I do like Christmas and Thanksgiving has to be my favorite holidays. I want to cement myself into the holiday somehow. So Hallmark Christmas movie, I think a Top Gun, something like that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not afraid to be the guy that has to jump out the plane and dive to save everyone. As crazy as it sounds, Top Gun was one of the reasons like I wanted to get into flying planes. It was something that intrigued me. Tom Cruise, he's so well versed in what he does. He does his own stunts. He can ride a motorcycle. He has like a C-class commercial license. I realized like, his experiences have made him a better actor, and we see it on camera, right?
Totally.
So I just want to try as much as I can, and then all of it will cultivate itself into what it's supposed to look like.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I'm excited about for being open. Just go for it,
Just go
right?
for it. Have as many
Just go for it,
experiences as possible, because through those
right?
experiences, you get to learn more about who Davis is, what you
Mm,
actually like, and
mm,
at that point in your life, because it can always change. Maybe you wanted a certain role when you were younger, but now you've lived some life and things have shifted. So
right.
who you are becoming will constantly change. You are going to be in a constant state of change. So saying yes to new
Mm,
experiences, I think, is a valuable tool.
I love that. Yep.
I've learned that people gravitate more towards the content where I'm being the most vulnerable and my guest is
Mm,
being the most vulnerable. They're not interested in you looking shiny and perfect and polished and strong.
right.
Nobody cares about that at
Yeah.
all. What they want is real. So, with that
Yeah.
said, I'm going to challenge you right now.
Mm,
I want you to share something, if
hmm.
you're open to it, that
Let's
makes
do
you
it.
feel vulnerable. We haven't talked about relationships. We haven't talked about love. We haven't talked about spirituality,
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
specifically. So, okay, let's go there. Talk to
Yeah.
us about something that's going to make you feel vulnerable.
I think on the topic of love, I'm still learning and figuring out that aspect too. It's got to be my favorite emotion. I think love is something this year I've really tapped into. Like, what does that actually mean? And trying to live my life more of giving, I think paying it forward. And the biggest risk of love is loss,
Mm.
right? You look at that entire time that you're with someone romantically and you're like, best thing ever. This is it. And then it's gone, right? And it's hard because your emotions are processing things, right? So I miss them. Do I want him back? Is this what's supposed to be for me? I try and live my life where this is supposed to happen. This is what is on my path. When something like that happens, is this what's supposed to be on my path? You question it, right? So this year, really trying to focus on love on a surface level, love on a deeper level. It means two different things.
What do you mean?
I think for me, be more surface level with everybody and try and be more loving, but also on a deeper level, find more connections and be open, more vulnerable, like you talk about, right? There's no point in hiding or putting a wall up because then that relationship already is starting inauthentically. It's become one of my favorite emotions that I can feel and continuing to try and really see what that means for me as I navigate 2026. There's nothing at this point holding me back at all. Like whatever's going to happen in 2026 is going to be because I allow it to. And
Mm. Full ownership. I love that.
right, right. And that comes with how I feel, allowing myself to feel, right? I think men are taught brute strength, brawn, put that wall up, hide my emotions. And I think I've learned that I actually am able to comprehend things a little better when I allow myself to feel.
Yeah.
As an actor, how can you not feel, right? If you're up there on stage and just like stone cold face, I love you. But like if you're up there not feeling that emotion, people see that fakeness. I think it's so powerful when people can really be themselves and truly allow themselves to feel certain type of emotions. And that means if you need to cry, cry, like or laugh when you need to, or celebrate. Like if you feel like dancing outside, go outside and dance. Be that person. This is your story, right? You see all those videos of people in New York and it's main character energy, right? I love that. I try and live my life like that without being like egotistical or narcissistic, but this is my life. This is my story. I'm going to write it how I want it to. Right?
Yeah.
And if that means it's a draft still and I'm erasing the hell out of chapters, by all means, that's what's going to have to happen. In general, being more vulnerable has allowed me to really connect with a lot of different people. And some of the most amazing people the last couple months have been because you see the vulnerability. They're not afraid to show people who they are. And it's really helped me grow. And it goes back to that like learning curve of the conversations. Like part of it too is I don't even need to have a conversation. I'm just watching you do your thing and I'm learning. It's like he's so confident, she's so confident. I think I'm confident, but not at that level. So yeah, I think love it's just powerful, right?
It is the most powerful emotion that we have.
Right. Right. So let it work for you.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you made yourself vulnerable in talking about that. And I mean, I totally agree. It has taken so much work on my own part in order to be vulnerable with others. And I've
Mm,
actually had to learn to dial back some of my vulnerability at times because one
mm,
thing I learned from Brene Brown is not everybody deserves your vulnerability.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard it that way, I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't share
Right.
everything about my life to everybody." Well, that makes sense also because when you're trying to figure things out, it's easy to go from one end of the spectrum to the other. But the truth is, balanced life lies somewhere in the gray, somewhere in the middle. And it's okay if you go to the other end of the spectrum, so to speak, from time to time,
Right.
because that's how you learn, right?
Of course.
You have to figure it out. So being vulnerable when you feel like it is safe to be
Right.
vulnerable, I think is key. That is how you have the deepest relationships with other humans is allowing them to see that vulnerability because in my opinion vulnerability is the most beautiful thing.
Yes. 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 Yes.
It's showing your heart, your essence to another
Hmm.
person. And especially in 2025, where we are just inundated with technology, and I do love it, we are having a lack of this vulnerability.
Right. But I think it makes the people who are authentically themselves and vulnerable stand out
Oh, that's interesting.
because we are in a time where it's like, can you recreate? How can we recreate? How can we recreate what is already working? I think a lot of these people, especially actors that we watch, they're all so different,
Yeah.
but they're all so authentically themselves. And it used to be there was a cookie cutter platform for who we want on screen. I think the nice thing right now is that people want to look and see who's different, right? And who want to be themselves. Nowadays, even with projects that we've worked on, it's so diverse. It's so different. We were all so different. And I love that. That made that set so fun because everyone there was just authentically themselves and we bonded over similar aspects. We all learned from one another. That came from being vulnerable. Do I think being an actor, being a model, you have to be vulnerable? Absolutely. You're getting up there with the idea of them saying yes or no, and you have to be okay with that. You just got to be yourself. Even lessons that I needed to learn, kind of sense of where I'm at now, absolutely. And I'm trying to make sure that I continue to allow myself to realize that things do happen for a reason. And it doesn't mean just because one door closed, it doesn't mean it's fully closed, right? I do think that sometimes you just need time to grow and you can come back to the situation. A lot of times I remind myself, I don't have the theater bug all year round. It's just a long rehearsal. but I always come back to it. I want to get on stage. So same thing with life. Just because you move somewhere doesn't mean you're not going to come back to that city, or just because you leave someone doesn't mean that you're not going to. Well, I'm not saying get back with your ex or anything like that, but like, it doesn't mean that.
No, some people do.
No, I know it. I'm just saying you maybe need to grow, right? Or just where you're at. Maybe it's best to be single and grow and then rekindle that friendship or relationship. But yeah, and it's fun to be vulnerable too. You really get to see who you are sometimes. But I love how you said it. Not everyone deserves.
No, and you need to decipher who gets it and how much do they get.
Right.
And that comes through trust. That
Right.
comes through, do you feel safe with that person?
Mm.
But it is a gift when you are vulnerable with someone. If they truly recognize you're being vulnerable with them, they should also
Mhm.
recognize that you are giving them a gift.
Well, the fun thing, even for our conversation right now, you challenged me to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I did.
Our first podcast, I probably was vulnerable, but I think we cultivated a more personal relationship where I feel more comfortable having conversations with you, sharing with someone that you trust. It is, you learn a lot, right? You learn so much. But yeah, you're right. Have that radar on and be able to, I'm not saying go around.
Spilling your guts to a random stranger. I mean, sometimes it happens. You'll be surprised. Again, if you fall back to what does your gut say? Because I have this spidey sense. When I'm around people, whether I know them or not, I literally kind of vibrate and I can sense if somebody has bad juju or not. I do. And I trust that. I trust that. And my gut has never steered me wrong. Never, ever.
But not everyone has it. Not everyone has it.
I don't know about that. That's a
You think they
really
do?
interesting comment. I wonder if everybody does, and then some
Mm,
people just are not tapped into it.
that's probably better. I think I like that.
I'm not sure though.
I think you might be right on that.
Do you think that you have a strong spidey sense?
I do. I'm gonna be Spider-Man one day too. Let's just go down the superheroes here.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What else do you want to share in this conversation?
For whoever's listening, reflect, reflect, reflect. Pay it forward. I think is a big thing for me. When you get a little bit of success, pay it forward. Right.
Yes.
We have too many gatekeepers. We have too many people not trying to share the wealth. Let's stop that. I think another thing is I'm very grateful for all the, words of affirmations and kindness this year. And just this year specifically was the first year I've had so many people reaching out, just like, can I ask you questions? Can I, get some advice? And I'm like, I'm not, go ask Jacob Alerty, right? Like, go ask someone you see on IMAX or something. But I do, as I reflect, I've done some pretty cool projects. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's seen that and felt that they can come to me and ask for advice because I'm always going to try and help paying it forward for the next generation of actors or models. I think it's so important. Next year, my goals for as far as the way I move is love, gratitude, and then paying it forward. That's kind of the goal. And then letting everything else fall into place, really being intentional with my emotions and being more vulnerable when the occasion occurs.
Yeah.
But really cultivating some amazing, amazing relationships with some people and giving myself some grace, right? Understanding it will happen when it needs to happen
In the way that it needs to happen.
in the way that it needs to happen. Yes, yes. As crazy as it sounds, and maybe even the podcast before, I was more focused on the acting and modeling. I'm honestly more focused on living my life to make it better for that part. I'm putting in the effort and doing the work to make sure I'm ready for the opportunities. I don't actually even know what I'm trying to become. I'm just trying to live my life. And that's the fun thing for me right now is that I think in the past it's been trying to live up to these expectations of what I want my life to look like instead of actually just doing things because I want to.
That's a form of wisdom right there. Because I think in our last conversation, it was a very intelligent conversation, and I could tell that
Hmm.
you were driven and you
Hmm.
have specific goals and you're going to do everything in your power to reach them, and I believe you. But this energy is more of, well, wait a minute. Part of achieving that success is not limiting myself to just looking through the lens as an actor, but I am so much more than that. Davis
Hmm.
is so much more than just an actor in doing theater, and so much more than just a coach. Like there are things about you that you haven't even discovered yet, and it sounds like you are
Hmm.
excited to learn more about who you are and who you are becoming, and you're going to embrace all of that.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I think the difference between the last podcast and this podcast is the goals are still there, right? The check is still on my wallet. That's never going to change. It's going to happen. I'm just trusting the work that I'm putting in and not putting so much stress on that. Everything else is going to fall into place because I'm trying to find who I am as a person, like you just talked about. There's more of a sense of calmness and ease with, I think, just the conversation in general today. But it I do feel like I've grown a lot since that first podcast, which is crazy because it was only a few months ago.
Yeah.
I'm curious too, as you rewatch it, text me later and say, you know what, dude, you're moving a little different. You sound a little different. So I'm curious because, we are close. I would love to hear your perspective, even if, you see things that have changed with how I'm approaching my life. I'm always trying to learn.
I totally will. One of the luxuries that I have in doing this podcast is I edit it. So I get to watch the whole thing again,
Yeah.
unedited. I get to have that conversation reabsorbed.
Hmm.
And because the conversations are so fulfilling, I get a bonus from it. And so I will 100% share my thoughts. I normally do. And it'll be fun to also see what your friends and people who listen to the podcast think as well.
Yes, it will be exciting.
Well, Davis, I feel like we can continue talking forever, but I want to end it there. Is there
Mhm.
any last reflection that you want to leave with us today as we wrap up 2025?
It's really all about the gratitude for me. It's been a hell of a year and it's really come full circle just with a lot of people that I've had conversations with. And so obviously I can't name every single person, but just know that I am extremely grateful to you. I told myself when podcasts became a big thing, I'm never doing podcasts. And here we are doing a second one. So very grateful to have cultivated our relationship and being comfortable having this and your platform. As I reflect, it's a lot of gratitude for so many people that are still in my life, that will be in my life. Like, just excited. And I hope everyone can see that as well, regardless of what they're going through. It works out.
I love that. I want to piggyback on the gratitude
Mm.
because I have a gratitude board in my house and it has pictures of all of my closest friends. And then I've also handwritten the names of people that I'm grateful for. And there's a sticky note on there that says, I will book my highest paying job ever on March
Yeah.
25th, 2026. Thank you,
Hmm.
Davis. It's on there because of you. That came out of our first podcast. So I want to say thank you to you. Another thing that I've done in the past month is I started praying right
Love that.
before I go to sleep and the first thing I do when I wake up. And all it is gratitude. I name specific people. And if I'm really tired, I just kind of pray for all my friends, my family, and then anybody who needs prayers. And I
Yeah.
welcome in abundance for all of us and that our needs will always be taken care of. I can't tell you how that one little thing has changed my life in such a positive way.
Oh, man. That's so strong and powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thankful for
And
you. Thank you so
thank you.
much for doing this second podcast with me. I'm sure it won't be the last.
Thank you so much, Kat.